So today I'm going to show you how you can build and host websites for completely free. Now to keep things simple and more realistic, I'm going to be building a website for a car detailer. Now that's actually the reason why I'm making this, because every day I see business owners ask like, how can I build a website for free or for cheap, because they don't have thousands of dollars to spend to pay a developer to build a website for them. So they are looking for other options out there. And so that's why I'm making this. So for those of you who want to build websites for cheap or for free, these are all the different ways that you can do it. So you can build and host websites for free, and there's no catch, there's no hidden fees or anything like that. All of this stuff is completely free. Now for this specific website, if you want to know how I built this exact website, I will link the video down below, because this is actually the website I built in my previous video. So if you want to see exactly how I built this one, I will link the video, you can go watch that. But for today's example, I'll just keep things very simple and build a website for a car detailer. But for this website, as you can see, this is what it looks like. And yeah, so if you want to see how I build this, you can just go click the link down below. But anyways, let's go build the website for the car detailer. Now the first option is to basically just use any text editor like ChatGPT or Gemini. So you can basically just ask them to build a website for you and they will give you the code. Now one thing I should mention is that even though I'm using a car detailer as an example, this method will work for literally any website. Again, my preference is ChatGPT because it's just way more accurate. Now basically what you want to do is that you want to just basically give it the information and tell it to build a website. So for example, let's say you're a car detailer in New York, Brooklyn. So you can say, hey, I'm a car detailer in New York, Brooklyn. My business name is like Car Details or whatever. My phone number is whatever. I want it to build a premium professional looking website for you. And you just give it a prompt and it will give you the code. And so this is what that stuff would look like. So this is the prompt that I'm going to give it. Very simple prompt. So I want to build a professional looking website for a car detailer in Brooklyn, New York. Name Car Details. Write the code from using HTML. Now of course you can give it other stuff like your phone number, your location and all that stuff. But I'm just going to keep this very simple for this example. And you want to just send it off. Okay, and it's already done. It literally took like 10 seconds to write the entire thing. And one thing I like about it is that, as you can see right here, it's already giving you instruction on how you can use this stuff. But this is basically the code. And even down here, it gives some more recommendations. So it's saying, hey, I can do this stuff for you if you want. Which one thing I forgot to mention is that make sure you, in your prompt, you want to let it know that, hey, optimize it for SEO, which will help you to rank on Google and stuff like that. Okay, so what you want to do is that you want to copy this code and then you want to paste it in your notepad, which I have right here. You can just search for a notepad using the search option. But you want to paste the code inside this file and then you want to save this file. Now you can save a file anywhere, but make sure you remember where you save the file, because you're going to need to know where the file is for when you want to upload it to the server, so you can post it on the internet. So I'm going to save my file in this folder. Now make sure you name your file index.html. Now the reason why you need this, I'm going to explain it later when we get to the website hosting section. But for now, just name it index.html. And then save it. And so now you just want to open it. And this is the website that we got. And by the way, we did this with a single prompt. There was no customization. There's nothing. We just gave it like one prompt. Very simple, and this is it, which is actually kind of crazy. And of course, you can customize this. You can make it look more premium, look a lot better, and so on. But again, we gave it a basic prompt, and this is what we got, which is still pretty good. But from here, you can just take this and upload it to your server, which I'm going to explain that stuff later. But for now, let's go over all the other options to create websites. Okay, so the second option is actually a website builder. Now, with the rise of AI agents, website builders like these are kind of becoming obsolete. But I figured I would still show you this method anyways, just so you know it and just so you have it. But yeah, there's this website builder called Bolt. Now, most website builders, they don't allow you to download the website, which is annoying. However, Bolt is like the only one I came across which allow you to not only build websites, but you can actually download the website and host it on your own server, which is cool. Now the one small downside with this, and the reason why I don't really use it anymore, especially with AI agents, is that the free tier is very limited. So this is a premium service, but they do have a free tier which is very limited. You get about 2 to 3 prompts every single day. Now even though that's not a lot, it's still very much usable, and this is how I used to build websites before AI agents came out. Now that we have AI agents, which has very generous free tier, I don't really use this anymore. But again, it's still an option if you want to use it. And you can basically just enter your prompt right here and it will build a website for you. So I'm going to show you some of the examples of stuff that I've built with this in the past. So this is a website I built a while ago using Bolt. It's a website for a law firm, which as you can see, it's better quality than ChatGPT. Although if you really wanted to, you could give ChatGPT more prompts and so on, and you can definitely get something that looks like this. However, the advantage that Bolt has is that you don't necessarily need to give it a bunch of different prompts to get this. You can just say, hey, build me a website, and it'll give you something like this without you having to like specify and give it a bunch of customization. So I guess that's one slight advantage that Bolt has over ChatGPT. But realistically, if you want to build something like this with ChatGPT, you definitely can. You just have to give it more prompts and specifications and so on. But yeah, this is what you can expect from Bolt. A very good high quality website. Okay, from here on out, after you build your website, you can basically just click over here, go to export, and then download the folder, which will give you the files. And then from here, you can just upload it to your server, which again, I'm going to go over that stuff later. But yeah, this is another option for building a website if you want. Now the third option is a tool called Google Stitch, which is actually a tool that was released recently. Now what's interesting is that this tool is primarily a UI design tool. So the main purpose of this is to basically create design for your UI. But the thing is that the file that it gives you is an HTML file, which is basically a website. So, if you're trying to build like a simple website like you're a car detailer, then interested enough, then this can do that for you. Like, it's basically a two-in-one tool. Like, you can build both a website, but also you can get an amazing looking website. And the website that I show you at the start with the headphones, I actually used this tool to build that website, which again, if you want to see how I did that, you can definitely go watch the video that I'll pin down below. But yeah, this tool is primarily a UI design tool that can also build website if you're doing something very simple. But even if you're doing something more complex, again, this is a UI design tool, so you can just take the design and then you can implement it into whatever you're doing, whether it's Next.js or your mobile app or whatever. But for today, our main focus is just a website for a car detailer. So I'm going to give it the same exact prompt that I gave to ChatGPT. And I'm going to send this off. Okay, it's done. And as you can see already, the quality of this is absolutely insane. Despite the fact that I gave it a simple prompt, as I explained before, the main purpose of this tool is UI design. So its specialty is to create websites like this. So, with something like this, you are going to get better quality compared to just giving ChatGPT a simple prompt. But yeah, this is the design that it gave. So let's open this in another tab. Yeah, so this is the website. Very cool, very premium looking. And all of this stuff is for free, by the way, that there's no subscription. So yeah, this is the website. And from here on out, you can basically take this and upload it if you want. Or you can ask it to make more customization. So for example, if for some reason you don't really like the design or something you need to change, you can definitely do that. So you can just click on it and give the prompt over here and it will change whatever you want. You can give this to your AI agent. So if you want to add like a backend to this, like for example, you have a form down here. For those of you who don't know, these forms, they typically require a server or something like that. So you can ask your AI agent to set up the server and stuff like that, which I'm going to show you how to use the AI agent and that stuff. This design so far looks really cool. And again, I gave it just a simple prompt to just build a professional looking website, and it gave me this. So yeah, this is another option that you can use. Now the fourth option, and it's one of the best options, is basically to use an AI agent. Anyways, from here on out, once you're done with your design, you can basically click on this and download it, and it's going to give you a file. Then you want to save the file, extract it, and then that's it, you have your website. Now let's go over the fourth option. Now the fourth option is to basically just use an AI agent. Now the two main ones are Anti-Gravity and Codex. But for this video, I'm going to be using Anti-Gravity because it's a little bit simpler. With Codex, you're probably going to need something like VS Code or whatever. But also, I think you can get Codex in Anti-Gravity. I'm not really sure, I never tried it, but I mean, it is similar to VS Code, so you should be able to do it. But either ways, I'm going to use Anti-Gravity because it's just a lot simpler. With Codex, you have to download the app and then log in and stuff like that, which is not difficult. But again, with Anti-Gravity, everything comes already set up and installed for you, so there's nothing to download and install. To get Anti-Gravity, it's very simple. Just go to Google and type Anti-Gravity. And you want to click on this link, and then you just want to download Anti-Gravity and install it. The process is very simple. You just install it, and you don't need a Google account. So you log into your Google account, and that's literally it. Okay, so this is Anti-Gravity, and over here you have your agent, and this agent can do basically anything for you. So if you want to, and what I would recommend is that, as you can see, Stitch create really great website design. without you having to give it a ton of prompt. And so if you want a really cool premium looking design, what I recommend is that you use Stitch to design the website. And then if there's anything additional that you want, like the backend system, like set up your forms and so on, in that case, I recommend you use like an AI agent. So you give the website an AI agent and basically tell it to like add the backend system for you and so on. So that's the setup I would recommend. However, if you really wanted to, you can build an entire website in anti-gravity. So like you can tell AI, hey, build a website for me, and to build a website for you, and it will also create the files and do basically everything for you. And that's the cool thing about AI agents, is that they're basically assistants, so they can literally do everything for you. They create the file, they write the code, like everything for you. But the choice is yours. You can just use the AI agent to build the entire thing, or you can design it with Stitch and then you give it to the AI agent and improve it some more if you want. But yeah, I'm gonna be building a website using the AI agent just so you can see like the difference in quality, like what you will get depending on which method that you use to build a website. Okay, so the results are in. I basically give it the same prompt that I gave to ChatGPT, which is to just build a professional website for a car detailer, and this is what it gave me. So now I'm gonna open the website and see what it actually looks like. Okay, so this is actually interesting. So the website is definitely better than what I got from ChatGPT, but I wouldn't say it's as good as what I got from Stitch, but it's still very good. As you can see, when I opened the website, there were some animations and so on, which I don't think Stitch gave me any animation. But yeah, either way, this is very good. Again, some animation. Book appointment. So yeah, very good website for a very basic prompt. And if you really wanted to, again, you can use the agent to customize the website you get from Stitch. Or if you wanted to, you can customize this website even more. So you can ask it, I don't know, like change the background or add the feature where, the contact form and all that kind of stuff. Now, how would you actually host this stuff? Now, there are two main options out there. Now, there's Vercel and then there's Cloudflare. Now, first, let's talk about Vercel. Vercel allows you to host websites for free. However, there is a limit to it. I think you can get about, I think around 10,000 people per month on the free tier. And then beyond that, then you have to start paying. But 10,000 people is still a lot, still very usable. However, there are a few downsides to Vercel, which is why I don't necessarily use it all the time. I use it sometimes depending on what I'm doing. Now, the thing about Vercel is that the main use case for it is for web apps. So if you're building something like an AI or so on, then that's when you use Vercel. But if you're building like a simple website, like let's say a car detailer, then in that case you don't need Vercel at all, and Vercel is actually overkill for that. And the next thing is that because Vercel is typically geared towards web apps, it basically means that it's basically geared towards developers, and the issue with that is it can be a little bit complicated. Like even when I was starting out for the first time, I was kind of confused and I had no idea what I was doing. So there is a learning curve, and if you're just the average person who don't really know anything about tech and this kind of stuff, then Vercel may not be the best options out there. And then the next issue is that recently Vercel did an update where basically the option to upload files manually, it's basically gone and you can't do that anymore. So now if you want to upload files to Vercel, the only option is to do it through GitHub, which is that's like a whole other tool that you have to learn and so on. So overall, if you're just uploading a simple website and you're not a developer, you're just an average person, I wouldn't really recommend Vercel, but it's still an option. I'm just still putting it out there. Like if you're a developer and you're building like a web app, this is definitely something that you're gonna need to know about. There are also some options similar to Vercel. So there's another one called Netlify. No, I've never used it, but based off what I've seen, it's very similar to Vercel, and they also have a free tier and so on. And there's also another one called Railgun, which I've never used before, but it's something that you can look into if you want to. Now, for those reasons, I'm not gonna go into too much details about Vercel. But there are a bunch of videos on YouTube talking about this, so if it's something you're interested in, you can go watch those videos. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into too much detail about Vercel because of how complicated it is, and you have to use GitHub and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna really go into that. Anyways, the second option, and my preferred option, is Cloudflare. So Cloudflare, there's a few things about it. First of all, their free tier is much bigger than Vercel. So for example, based on my calculations, and by calculations I mean ChatGPT, their free tier allow you to get around 400 to 500,000 visitors per day, which is insane. So if you're a business owner, best case scenario, you'll get like a couple thousand people per month. Cloudflare gives you a maximum limit on the free tier of around 400 to 500 people per day. So yeah, there's no way you're gonna cross that free limit if you're just building a simple website and you're just like a local business owner or maybe a personal project or whatever. There's no way you're gonna go over the free limit. Now the one important thing to note, and you may be wondering like, okay, why don't you use Cloudflare all the time? And it's because different platforms have different use cases. Now the thing about Cloudflare is that they have a bunch of different services, but the main one that we're going to be talking about is Cloudflare Pages. Now that's the one that's free. Now the downside to this is that Cloudflare Pages is basically for a static website. So basically if you're building like a web app, like a website or something like that requires server usage and so on, like you're storing stuff in database and all that kind of stuff, then in that case you're going to need a platform like Vercel, because Cloudflare is basically for static websites. So it wouldn't be able to be used for website that require servers and stuff like that. And so that's kind of like the main difference. But in our case, we have a simple website for a car detailer. So if you're a local business owner who just wants a simple website to show your business information, or let's say it's a personal website where you want to show off your projects and so on, then in that case Cloudflare is actually perfect for that, and I would definitely recommend it. Now using Cloudflare is also very simple. I mean, when you're doing it for the first time it might be a little bit confusing, but after you do it a few times it becomes a lot easier and very simple. Now first you go to Cloudflare and just create an account. Now once you create an account you should be on a page like this. So you just want to go over here to this side and click on compute, then click on workers and pages, and you should be on a page like this. Then after that you want to click on create application, and then from here you want to upload your files. Now remember earlier I said that you need to name the file index.html. Reason being is that Cloudflare, basically your index.html file is going to be your home page. So Cloudflare is going to look at your files and it's going to say, okay, which one is the index.html? That file will be the home page of your website. Now if none of the files in your directory is called index.html, then that's going to throw an error, because Cloudflare is looking for an index file and there's no index file. So you have to make sure that your home page is called index.html, or else you're going to be an error. But here from here on out, you can click on upload files, and then you can just drag and drop. And then right here you want to give it a name. Then you want to click on deploy. And just like that, your website is now live. Now you can click on this button up here to see your website. And yeah, now your website is on the internet.